Hi guys, I think I'm live. Fingers crossed there's gonna be no, fingers crossed for no errors today, no technology errors. I think I'm live. Oh yep, I'm definitely live. Fingers crossed there's all right, okay. Can everyone see me and hear me okay? Yay, it works. Okay. Hi guys. So excited to have you. Welcome to the January live stream. Those of you joining me for the first time, welcome. And for those of you who are here for second, third, fourth, fifth time, thank you so much for sticking with me and for your continued support. Let's see, I'm just gonna go down the list right now and say hi to some of you individually because I wanna meet you guys. Let's see, I have Erica. Hi, Erica. Laksa says it's my first live stream, so welcome, Laksa. June Love, familiar face. Hi, June. I have Osaruta Valentine. Hello, welcome back. Let's see. RT Carmi. Hello, RT Carmi. Macy Lou, welcome. Nice to see you again, Macy. Tina Fig, nice to see you again. Let's see, who else do we have joining us today? Puka Heart Arts. That's really cute. Puka. Art by Ash. Hello, Ash. Basak A. Hi. Am I pronouncing your name right? Is it Basak or Basak or Basak? I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad with names. Let's see. We have Yara Berry. Hello. Tori Wilson. Welcome. People are saying, wait. Erica says, I can't see or hear you. Weird. Okay. But then everyone else is saying, okay, everyone else saying it's doing well. Okay. Erica, maybe try refreshing the page. Maybe that'll help. We also have Kim. Hello, Kim. And let's say Lena Salfer. Welcome for your first live stream, Lena. You have the same name as my friend Lena Danya. All right. So yeah, I'm just going to wait maybe like 5 more minutes for everyone to join. In the meantime, I am open to answer any questions from you guys, or if you want to just tell me what you've been up to, I'd love to catch up. One thing, I am going to make a vlog soon, probably edit it today and try to get it out before the end of the week, but I am trying to make a vlog updating you guys on what my life has been, or what I've been up to in my life lately. A lot of people in my last YouTube video, and some of you on Patreon too, have noticed that I said the word fiance in my most recent time lapse. And so yes, I am engaged. I actually got engaged in November and I didn't tell anyone online because I wasn't sure how to do it. And so I kept pushing it back, and then I kept being busy with other things. And the more I pushed it back, the more awkward it felt for me to just announce it, since it happened in November. So I'm kind of glad that I accidentally said fiance, because now I have to address it. I mean, not saying that it's a burden to address it, but I'm like, what's the best way to do it? I guess the best way to do it is just to let it slip. But yeah, so thank you all so much to those of you who caught that, and also for your well wishes and for congratulating me. You guys are awesome. Oh, thank you guys in the chat box for congratulating me. That's so sweet. Let's see. We got Luz Tapia, welcome. I have chocolate cake at the oven waiting so I can watch this with a cake. Ooh, yummy. That is the best way to watch a live stream, with chocolate cake. And Luna says, hi everyone, I may not be here for the whole stream since I'm walking to class. Oh, what kind of class? Are you in college or grad school or high school? Either way, have fun in your class, and thanks for joining even for a part of it. You can always secretly listen to me in class, but I don't feel like I should encourage people to not pay attention to the teacher. Let's see. Oh, Art by Ash says her name is actually Amanda. Okay. Hi, Amanda. And let's see. Oh, thank you guys. Okay, so if you're curious, I can show you the ring. I feel awkward being like, oh, look at my ring. It's honestly nothing like super extravagant, but I wanted to show you guys if you're curious. I know a lot of people want to see the ring. So here it is. Can you see it? It is an opal ring. So let me see if I can maybe shine a light on it better. Oh, is that better? Oh yeah, you can see the lighting. It's so opals are my favorite stone. They, I think, really reflect the nature of a lot of my art and just overall how I like to live my life. They're very whimsical and colorful and unpredictable. And yeah, I just love how unique they are. There's little diamonds around like on a ring and on the band. I really wanted the ring to be unique. So I actually had my friend, I collaborated with her and we designed it together. So I kind of knew the proposal was coming because my friend randomly started asking me what kind of ring I liked. But yeah, I like the negative space on it. So there's like a little bit of distance between the halo and the stone. Kind of reminds me of like Saturn or something celestial. So you guys know I love space things. But yeah, I really like the ring. It's very, I don't know. I feel like it's very personal, and he did a good job. So that's the ring. In case you're curious, I've actually accidentally lost it a few times because I don't know. I heard your finger gets used to having a ring, so it's less and less tight over time. So yeah, when I first got it, I felt like, oh, this is way too tight, and then now it like sometimes slips off. So that's something I did not know about rings and fingers. But yeah. Oh, you guys are so sweet. Oh yeah. So RT Carmi says, beautiful ring that have lots of opals in Australia. Yeah, I actually did a little bit of research on opals. Australian opals are beautiful. I think mine is an Ethiopian opal. But yeah, opals right now, if you guys are ever wanting to get opal jewelry, they're not too expensive. They're definitely way cheaper than diamonds because I don't think they're as popular or maybe marketed as an engagement stone. So I guess this would be like an alternative engagement ring. But yeah, I really like that it's not too expensive because I would feel nervous wearing something so expensive on my finger. If I lost it or dropped it, I would hate myself. So I wanted to get something like something pretty, but not something that would break his wallet too much. I also just believe that, you know, if you had all the money to spend on a really fancy ring, I'm like, I just prefer the money in cash so I can like buy something useful with it, like oil paint. Just kidding, but not really. But yeah. Um, so let's see. All right, I think we are about done with waiting for people. I think we have enough viewers right now. We got 21 people. I might start working on my painting just so you guys can maximize the amount of time you see the painting being done. But, oh, look, okay, hold on, real quick. Some tips. Don't wear your ring at night. When you sleep, your fingers swell and it can cut off circulation. Yes, that is a good tip. Also, sometimes I move around at night or like I'll put my hand on my head and then my ring like gets nudged off and then I freak out. Like actually today before the live stream, I wanted to wear the ring and show you guys and I couldn't find it. I usually put it on my nightstand and it turns out I had knocked it over when I was reaching for water in the middle of the night. So I freaked out for like an hour looking for it, thinking I had lost it in the car or something, but it was just under my bed on the floor. But yeah, let's see. Oh wow, so many of you also have alternative engagement rings. Erica's is a moonstone teardrop shape. That's really beautiful. I love moonstones as well. They have a very similar vibe. Let's see. Oh, Luna says, going to college, communications 101. Oh, college. I miss my college a lot. I miss going to college sometimes. I don't miss the finals and midterms, but I really miss like living really close to all my friends. Let's see. Okay. So me about the money, Saruta says. Yeah, I'm like, if I had money, what would I buy? All the art supplies. And then someone else said that your ring will fall off if your hand gets cold. Could be a sign that it needs to size down. Could be a sign it needs to get sized down. Yeah, I might have it sized down, or I might, I don't know, work out this hand, make it really buff so that so that I can wear it. Ooh, Amanda says I have a fake replica of my ring and I wear it while traveling. That is also really good technique. Show you're engaged, but don't wear the expensive one when you're going a lot of places and moving around a lot. Okay, guys, thanks so much for all of your well wishes and for all your ring tips. See, I learned from you guys. I feel like sometimes you guys teach me more than I can even teach you because you have all this knowledge that I wouldn't have known unless we do these live streams. This is awesome. But yeah, let me go ahead and move the camera over to the easel so that you guys can see me work on the painting. Let me just rearrange everything here. And those of you who have seen these live streams before, you know that it's a really awkward process for me to move the camera over. It's like, it's kind of hilarious. All right. All right, pardon my hand. I'm just gonna grab the screen here with my giant hand. Okay. So, let me see. Okay, this is the painting I'll be working on today with you guys. Hope you all like it. Let me just like, computer screen. Okay, let me just enclose. So in case you're curious why it takes me so long, it's because I have a tripod. It's very bendy and it can like clasp around like whatever object you put it on. So I'm clasping my tripod around my DSLR, which I use to film time lapse, because I am filming a time lapse as well. So we're going to be multitasking today. We're going to be filming a time lapse and doing a live stream all at the same time. Okay. It's a pretty good view. You guys can hopefully see it. Okay, and then I'm also going to scoot my microphone over so you guys can hear me better. Let's see. Okay, hopefully nothing crashes and burns like it did last time. There was one live stream, I struggled with the connectivity for like 30 minutes before I realized something was wrong, and then I had to restart my computer, reset my internet, and you guys were so patient and just the nicest, most helpful people, give me tips, and yeah, we stayed for like 30 minutes longer to make up for it. So that was also really fun. I got to stay with you guys longer. Okay. Okay, I think this should be working. Please also, yeah, let me know if you can't hear me or if something goes wrong. I will try to check my phone more often than I used to. For a while, like I would get so engrossed with talking to you guys and painting, I would forget to check my comments, and you guys are like, I can't hear you for the last 30 minutes. So this time I'll definitely do better. All right, hi, I'm back. Okay. So this one, you might find it interesting. I'm going to give you guys a peek at my references that I'm using for, this is actually a secret commission. So I'm not going to release it to the public until later this month. It's going to be a surprise present for someone, for this girl, lovely girl here. And yeah, I'll release it publicly in a few weeks, but right now you guys get like an early sneak peek. Let me show you real quick the reference photo. Reference photo screen. I don't know if you guys can see, but here. So we have a girl and her cat. Actually, as you can tell, the faces on my reference don't match the painting at all, because you know, the client wanted like one of my typical nude female portraits, and I obviously don't have a nude photo of her, so I did some guesswork. So also her face, I used 2 different photos to get her features right, a couple of different photos for the cat, and a few different photos for the background. So yeah, you guys can kind of get a look at how I do my reference photos. Oop. Oh no, okay, slightly. Let me move this back. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Oh, come on. Stay. Okay. Good. Yay. All right, guys, I'm gonna start now. I'm gonna turn on this DSLR and press record. Hopefully all goes well. Ooh, sorry. Okay. Focus. Come on, camera, focus. Multitasking. It's so great, isn't it? Meanwhile, while you guys watch me struggle, you can feel free to ask me any questions in the chat box. And for those of you here for the first time, I basically paint a little bit, and then I read a couple of questions. I answer it while I paint, and then a few minutes later, I glance at my my phone again. So hopefully this works well. I always say I need someone here with me to read questions to me and just keep a pair of eyes on the chat box while I paint. That would be awesome. Or if I could grow another pair of eyes, that would be great as well. But sadly, no one is available at 2 p.m. on a weekday afternoon. Okay, so I'm gonna answer some questions real quick. Oh wow, thank you guys. You guys are so sweet. Saying, Luz says the skin looks so real. That is amazing. You're improving so much. Thank you, Luz. I'll definitely walk you guys over what colors I used for the skin tone as well. Amanda says, please tell us what tube of blue you're using for that sky. I've never seen you paint a sky that light before, and it's looking good. Yes, I will go over that as well. Art by Ash. So Amanda, what's the second Amanda says, what kind of camera do you use? I just bought one to start my own YouTube page, but when I zoom in, it looks fuzzy. All right. So, oh, welcome, little squish, to the live stream. First question about the skin tones, or just a quick tip on the skin tones. Here are the colors the main 3 colors I use for the skin tones. I have sap green and cadmium red medium. You could probably use any brand or shades of red and green that are similar, but it's basically a warm, really opaque, bright red and a warm, lighter green. Just like, I feel like this is like the quintessential green that you'll see, like, I don't know, if you just think of the color green, this is the color I think of. So these two mixed together makes various shades of brown that you see here. So all these different browns are mixed with red plus green. And then I add a touch of orange, transparent earth orange. I don't know if this color exists outside of the Gamblin brand. You might be able to find something similar, but this is one thing I love about Gamblin is like they have all these really niche colors. Like I think they probably have the most colors of any oil paint brand I've seen. This one is like a cross between like a brown and a bright orange. So it's very earthy, very natural, but it still gives you like a really nice warm glow on your subjects if you want them to look very sun-kissed. And of course, mix white when you make skin tones. So for lighter and darker, if you just mix like the red and the green, it'll make a very, very dark brown. So I mix white and little amounts of this to get the various shades. And then of course, on areas like the shoulder and the cheeks where there's more blush tones, I just use more red and less green. And then on areas where it's cooler, or maybe to balance it out, you don't want your whole face to look really burnt and red, I use more green. So those 3 colors right now are helping me at this painting. I also use them here for the sunflower browns. And the sky is a mixture of radiant turquoise, which I'm almost out of, and this color from Blick. It's like the Blick Studio brand. It's called Turquoise Light. Again, I'm pretty sure you could probably find an equivalent in other brands, but these two together make a really bright blue, but it's too blue. So to make it almost kind of a warm blue, I again bring in just a dash of the transparent earth orange. So by putting the orange, mixing it with the blue, it makes it slightly tilted towards the greener side instead of like a cool blue. It's like a daytime, almost greenish blue, if that makes sense, like a turquoise or a teal. And also because I use the transparent earth orange in so many other aspects of the painting, I just feel like this really unifies it and makes it consistent and cohesive. So I'm gonna put on my glove and let's start to paint. I might have to remix some colors because I haven't touched them all weekend and some of them might be dry, but no worries. Today, I think I'm gonna work on some of these bigger sunflowers and the background. I worked on this little cat before I left for the weekend. I went to a bachelorette party this weekend, and I think with the skin tones, I'm pretty much done. So today we're gonna do flowers, background, and maybe hair if we have time. Exciting. Okay, and then the camera that I use a Canon Rebel T5i. I bought it when it was new, but I think they have like a T6i or maybe even something newer than T6i out now. But yeah, if you buy Canon cameras, I found, and I learned this the hard way because I bought mine brand new, so it costs more. But if you buy the cameras when a new model just came out, the previous model will always be on sale. So if I had waited until the T6i came out to buy the T5, I would have been like half price. But sadly, I did not. But it's okay because I got to use it for a little bit longer. I really love this camera. I love that it has like a screen that you can flip so you can see if you're recording yourself, or in my case, recording a time lapse, I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I think I'm gonna work on these trees back here a little bit. I really wish my webcam had a zoom option. One of these days when I save up more money, I'm gonna buy a better webcam that can zoom. But for now, I'm sorry. But I will explain what I'm doing so you guys can follow along if you prefer. These green, the trees in the back, so there's like a hill and then darker trees. I'm gonna mix a little bit of the sap green that I talked about earlier. It's like the quintessential green. A little bit of black. Oh, my black is dry, so I need to deposit some more on my easel. Just a touch of black. A lot of artists don't actually use black, but I do. I think I heard from another artist one day that like there's nothing wrong with using black. Depending on where you learn, or people's personal preference, some might argue that using black is gonna mess up your colors because it just dilutes them or desaturates them. Sorry, instead of keeping the colors rich. But sometimes, if you want your colors to be desaturated, why not use some black? So, okay, and then again, I add a touch of the transparent earth orange just to tie everything together and give it some warmth. Okay, so the trees I'm working on here, I don't even know what kind of trees they're called. I call them Monet trees because Monet paints them a lot. But they're basically kind of the trees you see in like a typical flower meadow. Like they're really tall and they like a really long teardrop shape kind of. I'm so sorry guys, I'm butchering this. If anyone knows the name of this tree, I would love to find out from you. Okay, let's see. Let's look at some more messages while I paint. Whoa, audio is godly now. Oh no. Why? Okay, let me pause real quick. Audio is godly. Okay. Is it better now? You guys hear me better now? You guys said let's gift happy with a better with a better webcam. That's so sweet. Okay. Maybe let's see if I change the settings. Microphone. All right, is it better now, guys? Hopefully it's better. I'm just gonna keep talking and let me know if it's better. I sound like a robot. Oh my gosh. This makes me want to actually watch this so that okay, great, it's better. You know what it is? Like I actually have a actual microphone I use. It's a Blue Snowball, and I use this. This is like a pretty good quality microphone. I think it costs around like $50, but I use this for my voiceovers and stuff. And for some reason, Google Hangouts, which is what I use. I see it. Okay, better now? Yes? Okay, it's because I touched the microphone. You know what, you guys? I'm just not going to touch the microphone. It's so sensitive. It's like so high maintenance. It's so fussy. Yeah, I am just going to, now that it's good, I'm just going to not touch anything and pray to the universe to not screw me over. Okay. Okay, we're back in business, guys. No touchy. Okay, let's see if I miss any questions. You guys are so sweet. Little Squeeze says, see, your painting skills have leveled up. Thank you. Okay. Here's a question. RT Carmi says, if I wanted to start in oils, what are the must-have colors to start with? And let me see. Tina asks, tips for skin tone darkening. I can only seem to make the skin tones lighter, but never darker. All right. I will answer those 2 questions while I work on these trees. Feel free to type more questions, by the way, guys. I will scroll up next time I check. But so for a beginning oil painting palette, what colors would I recommend? I think it would definitely depend on what your subject is. So I love to paint humans and portraits. Well, not really human, just portraits of weird alien girls maybe. And so my color palette will involve a lot of great colors for skin tones. If you're more into painting landscapes, you might have a different list. But for the sake of answering this, I will use the skin tones color palette that I like. So, oops, let me open up my window. Oh, sorry, guys. My cat's scratching at my door. It's super annoying. Come on in. You want to come on in? Okay. So, like I said before, the cadmium red medium, but that color actually costs a lot of money. I think for me, it costed about $24 or so to buy it in the store. But any sort of quintessential red, like the warm, medium, saturated red, and also sap green or any sort of warm, natural green, I feel like will make beautiful warm skin tones. If you want to make cooler skin tones, there's another color called, let's see if I can find it in here. Cooler skin tones. So there's this one called Terre Verte. If I were to say it with a French accent, it'd be like Terre Verte. I can't even do it, guys. But basically, it is a more pale, like closer to grayish brown type of green. It's a lot more muted and desaturated. So if you mix that with, let's say, a pink or a cooler red, you get cooler skin tones. So depending on the types of skin tones you like, I just think the cadmium red and the sap green are pretty easy to work with. If you want to cool it down, you can always tone it with some, cooler colors like blues or grays. So it's a really good starting point. Also, transparent earth orange. If you don't have access to that, I can also recommend burnt sienna, which is very close. It is just like a really earthy, saturated, brownish orange. It's great for underpaintings if you're doing an underpainting for a portrait. And of course, black and white. I usually like to go for titanium white. And for blacks, I'm not too picky. I was using chromatic black for a while, and now I'm using Mars black. Honestly, I can't tell a huge difference between them. So I think any sort of black would work fine. And maybe a few extra, for me at least, a few extra more vibrant colors for other things, like maybe a bright blue for skies or a bright pink if you want to have, like, I don't know, a really bright flower. For those colors, I would say whatever's within your budget or whatever you see stand out. But if budget is not a concern, I really recommend the colors by Gamblin. I find that their saturated colors are really, really well made, and they definitely stay that color, and also pretty easy to apply and pretty easy to mix with other colors. And they just come out with a lot of lines of colors that you don't see usually with other brands. So I feel like because Gamblin only focuses on oil painting materials, they just give it a lot more thought and time. So for the Gamblin side, I really recommend Radiant Turquoise, which is like a beautiful sky blue. Also Prussian blue, I think you can get that anywhere. Prussian blue is a beautiful dark blue, and it's not too, see, I don't really like ultramarine blue for me. It feels way too close to purple and almost too digital, but Prussian blue is a beautiful, rich blue, if that makes sense. And then lastly, I would recommend at least one yellow. I really recommend investing in a good tube of yellow. The one I have is from Williamsburg, and it costs like $33. A similar color in Gamblin is still expensive. It's still like probably
20 something or maybe even 30 something dollars. But the lower quality yellows are very, very transparent. So if you're looking to have good coverage in your pieces and have the yellows be, you know, mixable, I would just recommend to spend a little bit more money on the yellows, because that's the one where I noticed the biggest difference in quality of like a more expensive brand or artist grade versus a cheaper brand or studio grade. So, or sorry, a cheaper brand or student grade, not studio grade. But yeah, those I guess are my recommended colors. There's also one that I love called Quinacridone Opera. I used to use this one, Luminous Opera. They're honestly very similar. They're like the same color. Luminous Opera is from Holbein, and it's the aqua oil line that they have, which is water-soluble oils. In my experience, it worked just fine and mixed pretty well with regular oils. But then they came out with this regular oil version called Quinacridone Opera. And Johanna, who is a patron of mine, she recommended it to me, and I fell in love with it immediately. So I had to buy one. So thank you, Joanna. That one is just for fun. It's because I particularly like having touches of hot pink, or occasionally, you know, you never know when you might use it. I also have one that's particular to my preferences, and it's called Radiant Green. And it's just a really beautiful minty light pastel green. I use it for my Luna moths. Of course, there's definitely a way to achieve the Luna moth color without having to get that specific green, but I just found that it's so, I don't know, it feels like it was made for it. It's just so perfect for Luna moths. So yeah, let's see. I'm gonna finish up these last trees here and take a look at some more messages. These trees definitely are not done, but I wanted to move on to something more in the foreground so you guys have something more interesting to see instead of just me working on trees. Oh, and then another random tip. Since the trees are in the background, and then this is something I started doing recently, you don't have to make the background super detailed. If you think about how photography works, like usually the subject is in focus and then things far away or far behind, like the background, are out of focus. So if I want the attention to be drawn to the girl and the cat, it's okay to not paint every individual leaf or get everything looking perfect, all the silhouettes super sharp and clean and detailed. It's okay to have them a little bit fuzzy, because in a photograph, this would be out of focus. And I also think it looks more interesting because your eyes then get more drawn to the details up in the front. So the sunflowers far away in the flower field are just, they look like blurs of yellow. But up close, I'm gonna define the petals and, you know, make them really stand out. All right. Let's check my phone again to make sure I did not miss any important messages. Let's see. I also wish this auto scrolled. Okay. Okay, the trees are called poplar. Thank you. Poplar trees. Perfect. Let me look at some comments now. Sorry, guys. This is, someday I'll have an assistant, or maybe like decades into the future when I have a kid, I'll just make them help me do this. Or train my dogs how to read. Just kidding. Okay. Erica Kilborn recommends Winsor & Newton. Still great and artist quality. Yes, Winsor & Newton is really nice too. I just found that Gamla has more like fun colors, but Winsor & Newton definitely, especially if you get the non-student line, it's really, really nice. Juan, stop, I already fed you. Sorry. Does anyone else have cats who just beg for food every hour, even though you just fed them? Because they're, okay. Let's see. What is the best opaque white you've used? I would say titanium white. And let's see. How big are the tubes of paint you use? Also the medium. The tubes of paint you see are not very big. They're just this size. For white, I have really big tubes because I use it so much. But if you don't plan on painting a lot, I don't see a point, because even these, like, they'll last me for years. Especially the colors that you really use sparingly, they last a really long time. Let's see. Oh, and then mediums and paintbrushes. Okay, so Saruto wants to know about mediums and paintbrushes. So mediums, I like to use my solvent-free gel medium for, this is from Gamblin. It's like a nice gel. It's very airy and fun to use. But if I'm really in a rush and I want it to dry really, really fast, I will use a fast drying medium. So you can have Gal Kid Light. There's also Liquin by Winsor & Newton. So I switch in between them. For this piece, I was using Liquin, which reminds me I have to open it. And this is a really old bottle, so it takes me like decades to open. Let's see. And you guys are saying your cats do the same thing. Oh, RT Carmi says, I used to have 3 cats and they all passed away from old age, but I'm looking after a cat for 6 weeks for my neighbor. Oh, I'm really sorry they passed away, but yeah, that's so sad about animals. Like, they don't live as long as humans. My cats are getting really old too. My gray cat is 15, I think, no, 14. My cat is probably around like 11. It's really, I mean, I love old cats. They're so much more well-behaved and all they want to do is cuddle. But whenever I think about like the possibility of them passing away, it just makes me really, really sad. Like, I don't even know how I'm going to deal with it, to be honest. That's a lot of reason why a lot of people don't have pets. Like, a lot of animal lovers I know refuse to get pets because they just can't handle the day when the pets die, which now I'm beginning to understand. Okay, this bottle is just the worst. There we go. It's because it's like, see, this is why sometimes I prefer Gamblin's products. The design just makes more sense because this one is so poorly designed. It's one of those bottles you have to press down and squeeze. And over time, because it's a fast drying medium, you get stuff stuck to the rim. See, like, I don't know if you guys can see, but there's like stuff that prevents these ridges from being very clean just by nature, the nature of this product. And over time, like this side here, see how dirty it is? It just becomes really, really hard to open. So like, I'm like, I don't know why we just can't have a simple twist off cap. Anyways, after I use this bottle, I'm going to probably switch back to using only Gamblin. I just want to finish it because it's old and I don't want it to go bad. But yeah, okay. Any other questions before I start? Amanda says, if you want to try Winsor & Newton and light, vibrant color palettes, I suggest try replacing the average red with permanent rose because it'll make beautiful purples and super deep oranges. Oh, yes, I forgot to mention permanent rose. I love that color. Except when I bought it, the paint tube was had like a little hole or tear in it, so it all dried up. It's so sad. But permanent rose is a beautiful shade of pink. And I think only Winsor & Newton has it. I haven't seen it in other brands. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Amanda says you can put a piece of saran wrap over the opening and then put the lid on. That is so smart. Thank you, Amanda. See, you guys, I feel like, give me more tips on how to live my life and, you know, nice artist hacks that I don't even think of. This is awesome. Okay. I'm just going to start working on the sunflowers then. So if you have anything else to ask, feel free to just type away. If not, I will just ramble. I've gotten pretty good at rambling to myself over the years. These live streams have definitely helped. But, you know, usually I tend to ramble on my own too. Like, it's just some weird habit I have, I guess. Like, even as a kid, my mom said I would just have conversations with myself in my room. I don't know why. Okay, I'm gonna work on maybe one of the, actually, I'll do another pass over the background first just to make it a little bit more smooth because the last layer was really rough. And then after that, I'm just gonna quickly make some adjustments to the background and then I will do the foreground. Also, we'll need some more yellow. This is the really expensive yellow I was talking about. It's from Williamsburg brand, and it was like $33. But because it's such high quality, there's a lot of pigment and very few binders. So this is actually my slowest drying paint. Like, if I leave my palette for a week, this color is the one that dries the least or the slowest. because it's just so much pigment powder. And yeah, a little really does go a long way. So sometimes when you spend a lot of money up front, it seems like splurging, or maybe, you know, you're tempted to buy something that's cheaper. But I think with art supplies, especially if you do it a lot and plan on making it a career one day, it definitely pays off to invest in higher quality ones, because they last longer. And I mean, I couldn't say that with the naked eye you can tell the difference between a good yellow and a bad yellow. If your technique is good, you can make whatever materials work. But with certain things, I just feel like it's way more convenient to have better supplies. Like this yellow, it's just so opaque, you know. With the cheaper yellow, it's always, even if I don't mix any mediums and I just like dab the oil on the canvas, there's no way it'll have like a full coverage. I still need to use many layers and use a lot more paint in terms of volume to get the same type of coverage that I can just simply get with a simple brush stroke of the good yellow. So I think ultimately it balances out. You can either get one tube of $30 yellow or 3 tubes of $10 yellow. And then the one tube of the $30 ones will save you time and be a lot more fun to paint with. So why not, right? Why not? Life is short. I don't know if you can even tell, but I'm just dabbing a few random messy like yellow dots, and they represent the sunflowers from far away in the field. And usually, one thing I notice with no matter what you're painting, this obviously is common sense, but it's something I have to keep reminding myself, because, you know, when I'm painting, I'm thinking in the context of just the painting surface, and everything is a 2D world. So I have to remind myself to use the laws of like physics and optics on my 2D world. But things far away are smaller. So when you do like a flower field or a grassy field or trees, the detail in the further away components are very small, sometimes not even recognizable. So you want to use like a smaller brush. And then when you get to your foreground, and I'm still not painting the flowers completely yet, like they're still just blurry shapes that represent flowers, but they will require a bigger, thicker brush stroke because they're closer to the camera. And it actually does make a huge difference. Like if you have the same size of brush stroke for the messy little details for your foreground and the background, if there's no change, then it kind of, I don't know, there's like, it takes you out of the moment and makes the painting feel a little bit off. So it's very noticeable when it goes wrong. And when it goes right, it just feels very like comfortable and safe, and there's no red flags. Like everything just feels right and correct. So yeah. All right, guys. But you can definitely see I turned the brush on its flat edge to blur the horizon a bit. Okay, I think it's time to start on the foreground flowers. I'm just gonna work on this one here. This one is pretty visible. I already went in with some transparent earth orange, some sap green, and some cadmium red medium to make like a rich reddish brown. Maybe I'm gonna put some more green to make it cooler. There we go. And I'm just gonna kind of go back and reline everything. So even if it's the foreground, you don't have to paint every little detail. A lot of things can just be symbolized and represented. And that's one thing I forgot. I think I took an art class at age 13. And the teacher said this, and it's always stuck with me. She says, don't paint what you know, paint what you see. So sometimes, like, for example, sunflowers, the inside of them has a lot of, you guys know I love sunflower seeds, so I know a lot about where sunflowers come from. But basically, the inside of the sunflower center has a lot of little holes and patterns. It's like, I actually heard it's like Fibonacci sequence patterns. But just because that's the way it is in real life doesn't mean you need to go crazy with the detail. Like I don't have to take a tiny brush and manually make every little texture or hole or pattern stand out. Because so much detail is lost when, I guess, you squint your eyes and look far away. Like when you think of the center of a sunflower, you think of like a big brown circle. It's okay to kind of paint just what you see instead of what you know. A great example she gave, I think that teacher, I wish I remembered her name. It's been so long, but she said that, for example, that's why you can tell when someone's a beginner by the way they paint eyes, because you're so used to looking at the eyes of human beings and thinking it's like a kind of like a football shape, because that's what you feel like, you know, you're like, oh yeah, eyes, it's like a football shape, or like a teardrop that's like tapered at both ends. But eyes are actually shaped very weird. They're not anything like a football shape. They have weird little curves for the inner and outer corners. They sink in a bit. The bottom lid droops a bit always. So when you become more familiar with practicing the anatomy, or just not just even human anatomy, but anything, flowers included, you just kind of paint what you see instead of letting what you know or what you think you know take charge of how you paint it. You just almost pretend like you're an alien who's seen this thing for the first time and you're copying from reference, and you just like copy it the best you can without ever having seen it in real life or being familiar with it. That actually sometimes makes the painting process easier and, you know, guarantees a more realistic approach. By pretending you're an alien, sometimes you can paint more realistically, I guess. So yeah, read some more questions. Got some new conversation going on. Art by Ash says, or Amanda says, if you ever looking for hacks, watch Chloe Rose art. She's great and tests a lot of the hacks for you, so you can see what it does. So you can see what does and doesn't work. That's actually, thanks. I think I remember that name. It's familiar. I need to check out her channel. See, Art by Carmi says, what was the medium? I missed that. Currently, I'm using Liquin by Winsor & Newton. And let's see. Saruta says, what about acrylics? So yeah, I actually don't use acrylics a lot. I don't think I feel confident enough to give a lot of advice, but I do know that with acrylics, if you want to make it dry slower, there's a lot of slow drying mediums you can use, which makes it closer to oils and easier to work with for me. But yeah, very different techniques, even though they look very similar and the end product might look similar. Amanda says, I literally watch all of Happy's videos while I'm working. I'm pretty sure I am her paycheck. I love you. That's amazing. Yes, everyone just put my videos on the background while you sleep. Generate those views. I'm just kidding. You guys don't have to do that. But that's really cute. My mom says the same. She's like, do you want me to just like always have your videos on? She is so funny. Okay. Let's see. Matsurika says, I took a 2D drawing course last semester and my instructor said something similar. It stuck with me ever since and has been very helpful. Yeah, good to know that I remembered something correctly. Okay, I don't see a lot of questions, so I'm gonna, oh wait, no, there is one. I see it now. Basak says, I would love to know if there is something you do not like to paint or struggle with. For me, I cannot paint males. There are a lot of things I struggle with, to be honest. Whether it's certain body parts on the anatomy or just certain things, I'm definitely not like comfortable painting every single thing. Like there are so many things that make me uncomfortable. However, I do have to say that with the right reference photo, anything like it does become easier. So if you're struggling with something, just make sure to practice with as many reference photos as you can. So for example, a lot of people tell me they struggle with hands. The only way to get over that is to paint more hands. And don't wait until you have a big painting that, you know, let's say it's for a client or for a gallery show or just a big painting that you're really proud of. Don't wait for that as the only opportunity to paint hands. There's so much benefit in doing studies and practicing with small studies before you commit to something on like a big finished canvas. So I really recommend doing studies as often as you can. And this, I guess, slight tangent, but also related. A lot of people ask me if they want to do a study. What are the rules about that in terms of plagiarism or copyright? I have made the mistake when I was younger, and this is before Instagram and this is before like Facebook or YouTube were even invented. But like when I was a young kid and, you know, I was taking art class or just doodling at home for fun, I would always like copy photos that I found online. It just, you know, I didn't know where else to get reference. I didn't think, you know, as like a 13-year-old, I didn't think to take my own reference photos and copy them. But I remember like I actually got in big trouble one time because I copied a photo that I found on Google of this Korean actor, and I submitted it to an art contest. My art teacher is really sweet. She like always looked out for opportunities for us to display our work. So there was one that was going to be in Washington, D.C., and they were going to select one winner from each state. So I submitted and I actually won because it was like a photorealistic drawing of this male celebrity. No one really knew who he was, so I thought it was okay. Like he was a Korean actor, not an American actor. And also at the time, I didn't really understand anything about copyright rules. I love the photo because it was really dramatic lighting and he was like sweating on his face. So I rendered like all the little sweat drops and I actually painted on black paper with white pastel. So it was like a really interesting technique. And I was really happy to have won. But then later, like after they already announced me as the winner and then I was already getting ready to ship my piece over, one judge like messaged my teacher saying like she wants to disqualify me because, you know, like she recognizes this is just a photo from the internet. I guess maybe she knew the actor and she was like, you know, the student didn't like, it's not her own original creative work. Like she has the skills, like she rendered something really well, but it's not, you know, it goes against the rules of this art contest, which specifically say like no plagiarized art. And, you know, I was devastated. It was the first time I heard of anything like that. So I, you know, didn't know what to do. I was like a young kid in high school. I cried. Luckily, my teacher, you know, she was very forgiving. She knew that, you know, I didn't do it on purpose. I just simply didn't know any better. So she actually like helped me talk to the organizers of the event or of the contest, and they ended up letting me pass, like forgiving me basically. But they told me like in the future, you know, if you ever enter a contest again, like make sure to have your own reference photos or if you're going to use someone else's reference photo, you have to change it so much that no one can recognize it. So yeah, that kind of was my first time that I even knew about these rules. So if you're doing a study where you're going to just like copy exactly, which I think you should, like if you're bad at hands and you want to get better, find a bunch of photos of hands, take photos of your own hands. Or like if you, let's say, are really bad at faces, just paint as many faces as you see. You can take your own reference. And if you find something online, that's good. Feel free to do a study. But I think the right rule that I learned over the years is not to share that study. Like, don't try to use it to gain attention or gain views or traffic, or, you know, definitely don't sell it. Like don't sell prints of it or, you know, make money off of it by monetizing it on YouTube. Or I would suggest not even putting it on YouTube unless you have explicit permission from the photographer or whoever owns that. So yeah, I just think like it's better safe than sorry, especially nowadays. I'm kind of glad that this is happening, but it's also kind of scary because, you know, the internet is such an unforgiving place. But more and more people are at least becoming aware of the issue of plagiarism, and a lot of young artists too are becoming more aware at an earlier age. And like I wish I had that guidance when I was younger, so I didn't make that mistake. But basically, if you're going to copy someone else's photograph, someone else's painting, someone else's sculpture, and you want to do it for practice, I would say go for it. Like don't share it, don't you know, publicize it, but, you know, do it to improve your skills as an artist. And like I wouldn't mind if someone did that with my work just to improve. But what I do mind is when they start sharing it online or like selling it or, you know, like using it as a way to get extra profit, whether it's attention or financial profit. It makes me feel really sad because, you know, artists spend a lot of time conceptualizing and making their paintings, and, you know, it's like a part of us. It's very personal. It's almost like a diary. And when we see that being like recreated and shared by all these strangers, And it's very, I don't know, uncomfortable, I would say. It's not that I hate people who do that or get mad at them. It's like it makes me just feel a little sad and uncomfortable, like someone took something that was mine and made it theirs. But oh, bye, Saruta. Saruta had to leave early. Let's see. Luce says, what did I miss in these 5 minutes? Oh, I'm just talking about my stance on, I guess, plagiarism, and if you want to do copies of someone else's work, like what is the right way to do it? And I was saying how, yeah, if you're going to do copies or studies for practice, my #1 recommendation is to not share it. If you really insist on sharing it, which, like, I can't stop this from happening, right? I can't be like, I'm the lawmaker and I've decided that no one is allowed to like, people are going to share it. You can't stop it. But I guess rather than banning it altogether or pushing this message out that feels really intense and like exclusive and just like super, I don't know, like a art Nazi, I just wanted to say, like, if you really want to share it, which I still don't recommend, but if you do, my recommendation is to credit the original artist and say this is a study of their work. Don't say inspired by, because inspired by means like, oh, someone else's style or subject matter inspired me to create my own original work. But if you like use their work as reference, then it's not really inspired by, you're doing a study. So there's a huge difference there. And I don't think a lot of people know the difference just because, they're words. Like, for some people, English is not their first language. And for some people, it might mean something different in another country, or they just see other people tagging as inspired, so they tag theirs as inspired, Or maybe you used the majority of someone's work as reference, but made up a few things on your own to change it. Like, then is it inspired or is it a copy? I would say that if at any time you had, I don't know, half or more of, and I mean, this is just my personal like scale, so everyone's might be different, but for me, like, I can always tell if someone used my work for reference. So if they just took, let's say, the body of one of my drawings and the pose, and then changed the girl's like hair color, or changed the background from like a moon to a lake or something, I can always tell. I can still tell because like the body, the pose, the shading, a lot of it is still very familiar because it came from my work. So in that case, I would still call that a study. The only time I would say it's okay to say inspired by is if you truly just created your own original work and you didn't even look at anyone else's, or I mean, looking at references for guidance, but like you didn't look at another artist's work while you were creating your own. And it's really hard to tell that it's copied. Then it's okay to say inspired by. And I forgot who said this. Actually, I saw this on Kelsey J. Beckett's Instagram. She's another one of my favorite artists. I think you guys probably know her. She has like 500,000 followers or something on Instagram. So high chance that you guys probably have seen her work. But she said that her recommendation, if you're going to use reference, is to change at least 75% of it, which I think is a pretty good scale. So change at least 75%, and then there's not going to be an issue. But anything less than that, you might land in hot water with the original content creator. So yeah, it's a really tough subject to talk about because I feel like a lot of people who make plagiarizing mistakes, myself included in the past, don't do it on purpose or don't do it with ill intentions. It's simply because they didn't know, I guess the rules or the implied rules. But I also know that some people do it with really ill intentions. I might actually make a video about this because it's really interesting stories to hear. I'm not going to call anyone out or shame anyone. That's not how I do things, at least not anymore. I'm not super young anymore. I don't feel any joy in making someone feel crappy. I think earlier when I maybe first started or when I was in school, it definitely, like, if someone copied my work, I just wanted to call them out because it made me so mad. But now it's like I just try to resolve it offline and try to educate people as much as I can. But I definitely want to share some stories in a YouTube video, or maybe now, if you guys don't have any other questions, about my experiences with plagiarism and some of the ridiculous people who like plagiarize on purpose. And when I call them out, like in just a message or a comment, not even publicly on my own channel, like they block me and continue to leave their plagiarized work up. And like, it's obviously a copy and a study, and they'll say that it's their own work. They don't even credit me at all. And then I ask them in the comments to, like, hey, I think this is a copy of my painting. You might want to like either credit me or take it down. They just block me and leave the painting up and delete my comment. So I've had that happen before a few times, sadly. It's really messed up. But you know, that's kind of the name of the game. When you share your life on social media, I wouldn't say it's what you signed up for. Nobody wants to sign up for this, but it's one of the downsides that you have to deal with in order to enjoy, you know, all the benefits. Like this live stream is awesome, and it's happening because of social media. And you know, I think it's worth the trouble again. And like the bad stuff happens only a small percentage of the time. Most of the time, it's good things. Sorry, I didn't want to scare anyone from like sharing your art on social media. I'm not saying that someone's gonna pounce and like copy it and make you mad right away, but it is a possibility that it might happen, especially the bigger you grow. But yeah, we all just gotta learn how to handle it gracefully, I guess. So yeah, petals, real quick before I read my phone again. The petals I'm just doing with orange. I'm just adding the cadmium red medium to the cadmium yellow medium, and also a touch of the transparent earth orange. I know it's 3 right now, but since we had some audio issues, I'm just gonna go over by 10 minutes because I know like we were delayed by some of the audio issues. I wanna make sure you guys get your money's worth. So I'm gonna paint for a little bit longer and then end the live stream in like about 10 minutes. So, all right. Time for me to check my comments. Okay, let's see. Crystal says, hi, Happy. I love watching you work. Hee. I'm pregnant with baby number 2, and I feel like if it's a girl, I might need to name her after you. Oh my gosh. First of all, congrats. And second, that is so sweet. If you're serious about it, like that would be such an honor. But of course, no pressure, because I know Happy is a very strange name. But that's so incredibly sweet. Wow, like I don't even know what to say. That's so nice of you, and I'm so flattered. And then our Amanda says, Happy, do you look at the posts in your secret Facebook page? Yes, I do. I try to go on at least once every 2 days to accept new people and to look through the posts. But yeah, lately, since I've been doing so much catch-up work from being sick for 2 weeks and traveling for 2 weeks, I've been catching up from missing a month of work. I haven't had time to go in and comment on everything, but I try to comment on at least one post every time I open the page. So yeah, I definitely looking forward to having more time for the Facebook group because this month has been just crazy. Let's see. Amanda says, if you do want to paint males but feel intimidated because of the different kind of bone structures, try doing studies of very unisex looking faces. Oh, that's a good tip. It's a really good tip. And then Amanda says, I had the same art teacher for 8 years. Her motto was, if it makes you uncomfortable, do it. You probably need to work on it. Another thing I agree with. Always paint and draw the things that you feel really scared of, because that's how you improve. Let's see. Oh, Erica says, someone had my painting as their profile pic on Instagram, and I was flattered, but also sad that they didn't tag or credit me. Yeah, I've had that happen too. It's like really flattering, and you want to thank them for like liking your work, but also at the same time, it's like, it is just an uncomfortable feeling. I can't describe it. It's not anger or hatred. It's just like, oh, I wish this was handled better kind of feeling. Let me see. Oh, Macy Lou says, is Beckett the daughter of the illustrator who did the old Rapunzel Golden book? Oh, I did not know that actually, but if she is, then talent runs in their family. And let's see. Okay, so Luna had to leave. Bye, Luna. Saruta had to leave. June Love says, yes, I've seen the one that you did. I forgot the name. It's the girl in the water by a lighthouse, but I've seen people do the same body or pose. Let's see. Art by Carmi. Artie Carmi says, is it the same rules if you're copying old masters? I would say yes. Why not? Why not introduce your viewers to some really good classical art, you know? Let's see. Crystal says, are you changing your style up a bit this year? Is most of your process still the same? And then Ashley says, do you remember the first video you posted on YouTube? I want to start a page, but I'm not sure what to start with. And let's see. So I'll answer those two questions while I finish the last few minutes of painting here. But Tori says, I know happy comments on the Facebook group photos she did on my drawing of not ad approved. Yeah, I remember that drawing, Tori. Tori made a really great drawing on the Facebook group. By the way, if you're watching and you haven't joined yet, you guys all qualify to join. It's just a secret group on Facebook for us to like share art advice and share our artwork with each other. And it's more private. It's not as public as like Instagram and YouTube. And it's just a great way for us to like share our work, help motivate, encourage, and also just help share information with each other. I really like it. But yeah, if you are looking to join and you haven't yet, just go on my Patreon page and there's a link to it. If you just look at my list of rewards and look for I think it's one of the $5 rewards. You can click on the link that says Facebook group and it'll take you to the post that explains it. But anyways, okay, so question about, did my style change this year or is it going to change? I think so. I think this year I really want to push myself to do something different instead of, not saying that I don't like my usual style, and I'll definitely still do pieces in my usual style, but I definitely want to also experiment more often and push myself more than I did last year. I don't know if it's just something about a new year in general, but I just feel really, really inspired to try something new. So yeah, you will definitely be seeing some different art from me. I don't know if you guys saw my peppermint drawing. It's the YouTube video where I accidentally said fiance, but that one too was like some random idea I had. I think I was at like a gas station where they were selling candy and I saw peppermints and I said, you know, it'd be cool. What if I painted a girl like licking a giant peppermint? And, you know, just like a wacky idea that popped up in my head. And then I just got to thinking about how last year, whenever I had wacky ideas like that, I would kind of ignore them and go for something safe. So this year, I definitely want to try something new, but I don't want to deviate from my signature stuff like too hard because I do still love it. And I still feel like it represents my voice. And, you know, my journey in finding my signature style tells a lot too. So it's not something I want to easily abandon, but you'll definitely see more experimental pieces this year than last year, hopefully, especially in the drawings. Drawings, I think, are where I feel the safest and most comfortable to expand because, you know, they're not as big of a time commitment as paintings. Show this year in Denver, I want to do something different too. I know last year I did a lot of like Chinese or Asian influenced pieces because, you know, I am Chinese myself. So this year I want to do more of that, like explore that too, but maybe take a different twist on it, like experiment with different types of backgrounds. And instead of just like, oh, a girl in a water lily pond, like try to do something else, maybe play with like some abstract textures and things like that. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm really excited to be caught up on all the work I missed so that I can free up time to, you know, engage on social media more and also have time to experiment with all these ideas that I have in my head. Oh, and also more mermaids. Ever since diving, I'm like, I need to do more mermaids. I became obsessed with diving when I was in Thailand for holidays. I was like, I can't stop. Like, I want to dive again. Like if someone told me like, Happy, we're getting up at 5 a.m. tomorrow to go diving, I wouldn't even ask where. But yeah, so more experimental pieces, more mermaids. So hopefully better everything. Just, I really want to take this year to fall back in love with just the process of creating and not get so caught up with, you know, stress and work and social media and like constantly forcing myself to grow and push myself. And like the numbers this month have to be higher than last month. Like I hate putting that stress on myself. I just want to really like enjoy the moment and, you know, indulge myself in like the creative process. Last year I got just so, I don't know, I was working so hard. I just got used to that mentality, just work, everything's work. That, you know, But okay. I just did a little extra line on the arm. Why not? Give it some definition. Okay, I think, it's time. Okay, it's time for me to move my webcam back. I'm sure you guys have places to be. We're going to be about probably 15 minutes over today, but I'm glad that we got to have a really thorough and successful live stream. Please bear with me again while I awkwardly move my webcam back to my desk. But yeah. Woo. I love these live streams. They go by so fast. I would push it even longer, but I really gotta edit my videos today and do some packaging as well. So got some other stuff to do, but man, one of these days I'm like, I just want to do an 8-hour live stream. You guys can watch me work all day, watch me eat snacks. Just kidding. I don't think anyone will find that interesting, but okay. Push this back. Tori says I would sit here all day. You guys are so nice. Actually, another thing I'm going to do today, I'm going to film another art and chat video because I have not done one in a while. And I have done a lot of, I don't know if you guys remember those types of videos, but I put it on YouTube because not everyone can afford to join my live streams. And it's similar to a live stream where I work on a painting and talk and answer questions, but it's filmed and edited. So instead of doing it actually live and answering questions live, I just compile a list of topics from my Patreon page. So yeah, I always like to give my patrons something special. So I ask my patrons for questions and then I answer them and post them on YouTube in like a long 1-hour real-time video. Oops. Okay. This camera is really wonky. Let me just, oh, I am crooked. No. Okay, there we go. Woo! Yay, that worked. Okay. Awesome. Nice. But yeah, let me see. Before I leave, I just want to make sure you guys don't have any last minute questions. I want to get all of it in before I leave. Let me see what you guys have asked me here. Crystal says, how do we join the group? So yeah, once again, go onto my Patreon page. I can show you right now. So if you open up Patreon, so if you use the app, this is how you do it. But so you go on my Patreon page. Okay, well, you guys know how to do that. Open Patreon, go to my page, and then click on rewards on that first page. So then you get to my rewards part. You can scroll down and see all the different rewards. So just scroll down to the $5 one, and there's a link right here called Happy's Art Club, and you just click on it. Come on. Oh, hold on. My fast. Okay, you click on it, and it'll open up the post to join. So right now my phone is not logged into my Patreon, but if you are a $10 patron, it wouldn't ask you to pledge. It'll just have the post that contains the details of how to join. But just for simplicity's sake, I'm also going to copy and paste it onto this chat right here so that you guys don't have to do this. But in case you want to do it later, here, let me just patreon.com/happyyears. Yeah, I'll just copy and paste the link here. And there's a password that you have to answer. I get a lot of random requests from people who aren't even patrons or who don't even know who I am. But there's a password to join, and it's art is a meowsing. So it's amazing, but it's spelled with a meow. But the post will also give you instructions on the password. Let's see. Let me find it for you guys. Okay, there it is. Happy's Art Club. There we go. You guys are so awesome. I love these live streams. Go back. Any other questions? Oh, wow. Oh, you guys are so cute. You're adding each other. That's really nice. Yeah, I love it when you guys make friends with each other. I feel like I helped people become friends. Like, that's so cool. I brought people together. Yay. Oh, Tina says, what size is the painting that I was working on? That's 11 by 14. Okay. And then Luz says, do you ever feel like do you feel like not doing anything and having to force yourself to finish things? Yes. If I'm tired or sleepy, I have to like force myself out of bed, but having deadlines really helps because deadlines are like an external motivator for you to get work done. And oh, Amanda says, your current mermaid is gorgeous. I might have to purchase it when I can. Oh, thank you. Yeah, well, the original has already sold, but I will definitely make prints. And I'm thinking about making special embellished prints for this because there's so much glittery scales that I want to like embellish a few with glitter. And yeah, I just think it'd be fun. I haven't done glitter embellishments in a while. Okay, let me link you guys to this post. And then in this post, if you read it, there's a link to the password post. The password is amusing. I'll write that down for you guys too. Okay, Facebook group. And then password. Housing. Crystal says, happy, are you engaged? Yeah, sorry, Crystal, you missed it. I talked about it in the beginning, but here is my ring in case you missed it. I showed it to to people. It's a really trippy opal ring. And yes, I am engaged to my, I guess now he's my fiance. No wedding plans yet. We are really bad at planning. So, and I'm also a bridesmaid this year for a lot of my friends who are getting married. I'm going to be bridesmaid 4 times this year. So I'm going to focus on their weddings first before I plan mine. There's definitely no time to get married this year. So it'll have to wait until 2019. But thank you, Crystal. Let's see. Oh, you guys are so cute. Thanks, Ashley. All right. Amanda says, thank you for the stream and for being so attentive to us. It really makes me feel like I'm getting to know you, and that's great. Thank you. Aw, well, I have to thank you guys in return because I also feel the same way, like getting to know you guys, feeling like we're hanging out for real. It's a really good feeling. But yeah, Amanda says she's going to have Hot Pot cater her wedding. Just watch. Oh my gosh, if I can make it happen, yes. We'd have to bring like 100 like gas burners to burn the hot pots, but I'll try to make it happen. You guys know me so well, seriously. Okay, well, it's almost 3:20 now. We're like almost 20 minutes over time. I gotta run, but thank you guys so much for all of your support and for being awesome live stream attendees. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the January and hope to see you for the February live stream. Bye, guys. See you guys next month. Love you all.